students to your museum. Please show them the wonders of your world.
Great! I'm on my way.
Oi, Coke!
Yes, Spigot.
What is the biggest number in the world?
Oh, let me see. The biggest number I have ever calculated was one that I reached last week while working on Dr. Singh's latest experiment. It was 149,736,197,032,956.
Wow! That sounds like a big number.
Bigger than you could imagine.
And that's the largest number you've ever calculated?
Yes.
Well, what would it be if you added 1?
149,736,197,032,957.
Wow! Hey, Coke!
Yes, Spigot.
You just calculated a bigger number than ever before.
I what?
Hello, Calc. Hello, Spigot.
Guess what, Dr. Singh? Coke just calculated the biggest number in the world.
He did? Well, you'll have to excuse me. We have guests. Hi.
Hi. Hello, Dr. Singh. Hello, Dr. Singh.
Good morning, children. Welcome to my world, the world of Jonathan Singh. And tell me, what would you like to see this week?
I'd like to see a glass of water. The bus ride over here was very hot.
How about you, Peter and Ashley? Would you like one too? Water is a marvellous compound. Without it, we could not live. Let's see how important water really is to us. And what?
Coming to you from around the world, featuring our team of premier professionals, this is Healthbeat.
Hello, and thanks for tuning into Healthbeat. Recent reports confirm that there is water all over the world. To tell us the good news and the bad news about the water situation is our brave reporter woman.
We're up to our heads in water.
That's the bad news.
No, that's the good news. Almost 70% of our body is made up of water. However, some bodies are experiencing a drought or are being contaminated.
That's the bad news.
Good, Anchorman!
It's the good news.
No, that's the bad news. But good you got it right. Anyway, let me explain it like this. Your body is like a lake, filled with fish. Just as the fish need water to live, so does your body. That's why it is very important that you drink water every day. When you run and play, you perspire, and your body loses water. It's like someone draining the lake. You must be constantly filling up the lake. However, you must make sure you fill it up with good water. When you drink bad water, it's like contaminating your lake, and you know what happens. The fish die.
How do I know whether this is good or bad water?
Good question! Sometimes you can tell just by looking at it, or at least most people can. But sometimes bad water can carry hidden germs that can make you sick. Bad water can come from lakes that have been used for bathing by people and animals, or water that travels through old pipes.
What are you supposed to do if that is all the water you have?
Good question. You turn the bad water into good water by boiling it for at least 20 minutes. Then let it cool and drink, drink, drink.
Thanks for that good report. Too bad we're out of time. So until next time, stay on beat.
That was really good. I'm really thirsty.
Would you like some water?
Oh, yes, please.
Here we go then. Ha. Just 3 cups and 3 kids, and that's great. And I think we have just enough water for 3 of you. Here we go, Peter. Bit for you, and some for you, and lastly some for you, Anna. Yeah. Whoa.
Peter, you spilled my water! Sorry, look. Sorry's not going to help my thirst. Oh, don't bother, Peter. Everybody knows you can't put spilled water back into a cup.
You can have mine.
thank you.
Look,
Peter, not again! Oh, sometimes it's just impossible!
Oh, it looks like we could use another cup. Now, what we need is a sheet of paper and the right book.
Wow, that was wonderful, Dr. Singh.
Did you like that? Well, wait till you see this.
Hi, Calc.
Yes, Spigot.
What was that biggest number you ever calculated before again?
149,736,197,032,956.
Oh, you mean 957?
Oh, yes, you are correct. By adding one numeral to my previous number, I did indeed calculate a new number that was bigger than the previous one.
And if you added one more to that, what would you have?
149,736,197,032,958.
A new number! Even bigger than before!
Yes, of course. Oh, what's the point in this senseless exercise?
Oh, do I have to have a point?
Oh, Spigot, you are impossible.
I'm so thirsty. If I were a fish, I'd drink all the water in my fish tank.
Ew, have you ever noticed the scum that grows in those things? Ugh.
Peter, that is disgusting.
It's only disgusting if you don't realise that everything has a purpose.
Even fish tank scum.
Even fish tank scum. Now,
Oh.
I have a fish tank. Where did I put it? Let's see,
Well, if I were a fish, I know what I would be.
And what's that?
An Olympic athlete!
here's my fish tank. Now, let's see. Anna wants to drink a fish tank. No fish tank scum, of course. And Peter wants to be an Olympic swimmer.
But
There. That should please everybody.
Dr. Singh, there's no water.
You'll have to use your imagination.
There's more to learning how to swim than just splashing around the pool. The 4 basic swimming strokes will give young swimmers the confidence to try other water sports. A good first stroke to learn is called the backstroke. It's performed while floating on your back, so the timing of the breathing is not as critical as it is for other strokes, since your face isn't in the water. It's the 3rd fastest stroke. The backstroke requires you to propel yourself forward while lying on your back in as straight a line as possible. The front crawl is the fastest and most popular stroke. It requires you to lie face down in the water, making the timing of the breathing very important. The front crawl is an alternating stroke, requiring a smooth, coordinated action in which the timing of the breathing matches the arm movement. The butterfly is the 2nd fastest stroke after the front crawl. The butterfly stroke resembles the movement of a dolphin through water, using a double leg kick and an overhead arm action. This stroke requires strength as well as timing. The swimmer must move through the water in a smooth and controlled manner, coordinating an overhead butterfly-like arm action with a synchronized leg kick. The breaststroke is the slowest of all 4 because none of the recovery occurs above water. The breaststroke is the most technically demanding stroke to master. It requires symmetrical arm and leg movement with the body pivoting on the breast. While splashing around the pool looks like a great way for beginners to get their feet wet, learning these 4 strokes can help improve your experience in the water. Swimming is also great exercise for overall fitness since it works every muscle group.
Oh, this talk about water is making things worse. I'm getting thirstier by the moment.
Really? Just how thirsty are you, though?
I could drink a lake.
Maybe Professor Louis can find you a whole lake.
Oh, Peter, you're impossible.
Ah! Off to Professor Louis!
Hello, Dr. Singh and children. You'll never guess where I'm going today. Well, maybe you can guess. Here we go. The Danube River runs through the center of this town that is hundreds of years old. From the huge parliament building that sits next to the Danube to the many statues that decorate the city, the architecture here is unique. The former royal palace sits in clear view for all to see. It contains a museum of natural history and a library. The central train station is one of the busiest places in the city because people rely heavily on trains to get around the town and to the marketplace where many farmers sell their produce. Have you guessed yet? We are in the Hungarian capital of Budapest, the beautiful and picturesque city on the Danube River. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
So, Anna, are you still thirsty?
Oh, Peter, you're being so mean. First you spill my water, and now you're teasing me.
Well, why don't you ask for another glass of water?
Because the cups are ruined and the jug is empty. Everybody knows it's impossible to get water from an empty jug.
Anna, how long will you only see with your human eyes? When will you begin to see with your heart?
See with your heart? What do you mean, Dr. Singh?
Things are only impossible for people whose hearts are blind to faith. Even Jared had to learn that lesson.
Jared? Oh, you mean the Jared from the Winds of Adventure book?
Yes, the Jared from the book I found as a teenager. I was about your age when I saw my sister kidnapped.
In our story so far, Isabel was captured by the pirates, but then rescued by Jared and Professor Louis in the Peace Wind. The Peace Wind's force field was struck by lightning, which catapulted them into another world. Our heroes made friends with the Tamarling prince, Rohanor, while the pirates discovered that Halgor the Horrible had rock robots with solid gold control domes. But through this, young pirate Bufford became a Christian. Jared, who was buried under the rubble of the Peace Wind after the Dark Wind's attack, was rescued!
Ahoy, Mr. Raven, sir. Castle on the horizon.
Good. Captain Pace, King Halgor's castle has been sighted. We should make landfall in about 15 minutes.
Very good, Raymond. Set the course. Bufford, bring me the prisoners.
Please, Captain Pace, Don't turn Prince Rowanor over to that hideous Halgor.
Hideous Halgor. I like that. Very good indeed. Unfortunately, your precious prince is going to make me and my crew quite wealthy.
I perceive that you're an educated being, Captain. Can you not see through Halgor's empty promises?
Of course. Halgor is no less a pirate than I am. But have you not heard that there is honor among pirates and thieves? I don't trust him, and he doesn't trust me. But he will honor his bargain for the same reasons I honor mine.
I think that you're mistaken.
Whether I am or not is of little concern to you or Isabel. For you see, we're about to make landfall. And well, I have, let's say, some business to attend to.
I'm sorry, I really am. What am I going to do?
In my Bible, you know, the book that you thought was a treasure book, there is a verse that says, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me.
I'll try to do what... I don't know, but I will try.
I know you will. And with your God's help, you will find a way.
Jared! Jared! Where has that boy gone?
I believe he is down in the lower parts of the ship.
Jared!
You bellowed?
Well, yes, I suppose I did bellow.
Yes?
Oh, I need a fresh sailor's needle. More thread. A sailcloth to make a patch. Well, I see. Ah. Well, good.
Anything else?
No, this is all I need. How about you?
Well, things are wrecked below. The furnace got hit with a direct shot. But I reckon I can have it up and smoking in a week or so.
A week? I hope we can get your airship flying before then. There is no telling what that pirate will do with Isabel and Prince Rowanor.
I know. That's what drives me. I must finish the Peace Wind as soon as possible.
May God help us.
Your Majesty, the captain of the flying ship, the Dark Wind, Captain Raphael Pace, and his first mate, Raymond.
Welcome. Welcome, Captain Pace. It is a pleasure to have you return so soon.
I hope the pleasure will be mutual. I have recently come into ownership of something that you might be interested in purchasing.
Oh? And could that possibly be another flying ship?
I'm afraid not. The Peace Wind is quite destroyed. She will never fly again.
What? You destroyed a flying ship? I would have paid a king's ransom for it.
Alas, it is too late for that. But I have something that you might pay a prince's ransom for.
A prince's ransom?
Raymond, bring them in.
Prince Rowanor. This is indeed a surprise. So, I see there is a matter we need to discuss. What is your price?
Let's say the prince's weight in gold.
How fitting. Baldorf, make it so.
Halgor, you fat, festering usurper. You sit on my father's throne and do it shame and dishonor.
You dare to raise your voice in my presence? Baldorf, set your pen to ink and make the following proclamation. Be it known to all that on the morrow His Majesty will begin a week-long celebration, and on the seventh day, I, King Halgor of Tomar, will publicly execute Rowanor, son of Ralanthor.
Rohanor's death sentence was made, and Halgor the Horrible's celebration began. 3 days passed, during which time a lone Tomarling made an important trip across the desert.
Oh no. Jared, Professor!
Smooth?
Is something wrong?
That pirate scum, Captain Pace, has sold Prince Rowanor to King Halgor.
Oh, this is terrible.
Yeah, well, we sort of expected that.
Yes, but Halgor has announced that in 7 days he will publicly execute Prince Rowanor.
What? In 7 days? We've got to get moving. We've got to get the Peace Wind repaired.
We don't have time.
You said we got a week. We should be able to get the Peace Wind back into the air in no more than 4 days.
It has taken 3 days for this message to be brought across the Great Desert. We only have 4 days before the execution.
Professor, we could get the Peace Wind finished in 3 days, couldn't we?
We'd be lucky to get the peace wind back into the air in 5 or 6 days.
You will have to complete the work without me. I must rescue my prince.
Samuth, we need you here. The Tomarlings need your leadership. Without you, Prince Roanor will have no chance for a kingdom.
Louis is right, Samuth. I will go. Roanor saved my life from the rock robots. It's now time for me to return the favor.
You don't know the way. You don't know the city. It will be impossible for you.
You might be right, but I don't have a choice. Besides, there is a scripture in the Bible that says something about being able to do anything, or something like that.
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
That's it. Listen, Samuth. I know you think that you should go, but you'll have to trust me. I have faith that God will uphold the promise in His word. And, well, you need to have faith that I'll be able to do the impossible with God's help.
I don't understand this God of yours or his powers, but if you believe that he will help you, then I accept your offer. I will send you with Reldred. He is the one who brought the message across the desert. He knows the way.
Good. Louis, I will make a small pack of supplies and be off.
I will pray for you, Jared.
Thanks. I'll need it.
I too will pray to your God. I will ask him to make it possible for you to do the impossible.
God, I'm so sorry. I just didn't know better. Well, now Captain Pace has Isabel and King Halgar has Prince Roanor. God, help me. Amen.
Ufford, Captain Pace wants us to take Isabel up to the castle for tonight's party.
Yeah, all right, I'm coming. God, you know that verse that Isabel knows? See, it says something like, I can do all things through Christ who makes me strong. Well, God, I could use some of that strength right now.
Ufford.
Okay, I'm coming. Thanks, Amen.
While Bufford prayed for strength and courage to do what was right, Jared and Reldred also needed strength in order to make their long, hard journey across the Badlands.
Well, Reldred, let's do it.
It has been 2 days since Jared and Reldred left. I wonder how they are doing.
God has been with us, and we have most of the Peace Wind's repairs complete. We must have faith that God has been with Jared and Reldred too, and they too are doing well.
Yes, and with your God's help, I believe they will make it.
It was 2 days before Rohanna would be executed. The pirates were not aware that Halgar had set a trap to capture them and steal the Darkwind.
Well, Baldorf, you've had 5 days to set everything in place. Are you ready with our little surprise?
Of course, Your Majesty. As this is the 5th night of the celebration, and everyone is enjoying the party atmosphere, Captain Pace and his bandits will never suspect a thing.
Good. We lost the one flying ship. I will not lose Captain Pace's dark wind.
God, give me strength as your word promises. I just don't know how I will ever keep going. I just know that I must.
Father God, help us. Give us strength. Honor the promise of your word. Help Jared reach Prince Roanor in time to spare his life.
God of Louis, Isabel, and Jared, I do not know you, but I've seen the confidence that Isabel has placed in you. My death is now only 2 days away. Please, God, answer the prayers of Isabel. Rescue us from certain death, and if I must die, give me the strength your word promises, so that I may face death with honor.
I see how Jared had faith in God, but I still don't see how I'm going to get a glass of water.
Yes, he did have faith, but he had more than just faith. He acted upon his faith. He could have just given up. I mean, what he had to do seemed impossible. Why even try?
So you mean you have to do more than just believe in God? You actually have to do something?
Yes, belief and faith are very important, but faith has to be acted upon.
But I still don't see how this is going to get me a glass of water.
That's because you've given up. You're not even trying.
But Dr. Singh, what you're saying is impossible.
It's only impossible if you don't see things through the eyes of faith. Come, I have something I'd like to show you.
Oh, all right.
Anna, look! The jar! It's got water in!
Water? But how did it get there?
The ice melted.
But what about a cup?
Ah, I think this may do.
Why didn't I see these obvious things before?
You couldn't see with your heart because your mind told you it was impossible. Here, drink up.
Thank you.
I bet that tastes good. Oh, whoops. Looks like it's time to go.
Calc, I've been thinking. Oh, now there's a scary idea. You can never calculate the world's biggest number because you can always add just one more to it.
Well, kids, I am really looking forward to seeing you next week. Remember, with God, nothing is impossible. After all, if there was a problem bigger than God, he wouldn't be God at all.
The